December the 25th, 2020. Remember that Christmas? Such interesting times, I must say. Before that holiday season began, October 22nd, 2020, the state of California released new rules. For the holidays of Thanksgiving and Christmas, if you were a single family that already lived together, we were mandated to stay indoors. However, if you got together with others during the holiday, these were our guidelines. All gatherings must include no more than 3 households, including hosts and guests, and must be held outdoors lasting no more than 2 hours. All gatherings must be held outside. Attendees may go outside to use restrooms inside, sorry about that. Inside, maybe some went outside, but may go inside to use restrooms as long as the restrooms were frequently sanitized. New rules state that those at a gathering may remove their mask coverings briefly to eat or drink as long as they stay at least 6 feet away from everyone outside their own household, and put their face covering back on as soon as they are done with the activity. It's Twilight Zone, my friends. We all lived through it and we did okay, right? As I said, interesting times. And the wonder of Christmas during that time was virtually absent. Usually my little town that I live, my husband and I live in Ojai, it comes alive during Christmas. So there's a Christmas spirit. But that year, well, it was a tad bit lifeless. The wonder of Christmas was gone. No Christmas pageants, no Christmas concerts, no carolers caroling in the streets because we weren't allowed to sing, and no gatherings to share Christmas cookies or baked goods. There were no holiday festivals. All of that canceled. So being the rebels that my husband, Steve, and I and the rest of the family are, that Christmas we decided to break the rules and invite another family of dear friends to join us on a very special Christmas event. We all gathered together for Christmas cookies and hot apple cider indoors, and I let them know that we were going to be doing a very special Christmas treasure hunt. And of course, I was the head controller of this whole event. I planned out the whole thing. I knew I was going to control my Christmas universe that day. And I had them all divided up in teams of 2 people each. And I gave them each a little packet. Inside the packet was a blanket. There were 5 pieces of paper and an apple and the following list. These were the new rules for Christmas 2020. Rules. You have 1 hour to accomplish as many or all of the following 20 tasks. Follow the directions carefully, and you must be back on time. These do not have to be in any special order. Make sure to let Cathy know which team you are on with each text. Whoever finishes first will be the winner, and they got a big gift for whoever the winner was. Number 1 was unscramble the word OOFTCMR and text it to Cathy. Comfort, just in case some of you are like, wonder what that is. Number 2, video yourselves while you finish this song in front of a nativity scene somewhere in Ojai. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Just 2 lines of the song is sufficient, and text it to Cathy, exactly. Bring something back that smells amazing. Number 4, take a picture of a horse and text it to Cathy. Find a street sign with the letter Y and text it to Cathy. Take a selfie in front of a water feature and text it to Take a picture of a VW bug and text it to Take a picture of a police car and text it to. Take a picture of a dead end sign and text it to, which, by the way, is harder than you think. Try that. Try looking for a dead end street sign. Number 10, take a selfie in front of the jailhouse. That was easy because we have a jail, just an old-fashioned antique, they don't even use it anymore, jailhouse. 11, send photos of a Santa Claus, a reindeer, and a Snoopy. 12, do a video with the beautiful view of Ojai behind you and sing a Christmas song of your choice. And here are two from that day so you can get an idea. Here's my darling Steve. Oops.
And I don't know. Have a very Merry Christmas. And I don't know that one. Okay. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on one horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh.
Yay! And then here's my daughter and another good friend.
Hey, hang on.
All right.
Gotta see the beauty.
There we go.
Gotta prove it. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Good enough.
Apparently, that's the only Christmas song they know. Number 13, take a selfie in front of a store display. Text it to. 2 pictures. They had to take 2 pictures, one of a red front door and another of a blue front door, and text it to. Place an apple. See, this is where the apple comes in place. Place an apple by the graveside of Daniel McGregor and take a picture. Please text the picture to Cathy. And here it is in this graveyard. They had to find out where Daniel McGregor was. I had no idea who he was. I just thought, oh, this looks like a good graveyard or gravesite for someone to place an apple. 16, leave 5 happy notes. 5 happy notes on people's cars and take pictures of each and text it to. Give a homeless person a blanket. Don't take their picture. Just come home with the story. I know, it was beautiful. Text a picture of a decorated fire hydrant. We have people that decorate fire hydrants in Ojai. 19, take a picture with a total stranger, somebody you don't even know. That was hard because you had to stay 6 feet away, right? But they did it. Take a selfie under an outdoor table and text it to Cathy. And they all finished each of the tasks in an hour's time. Yes. Let me just say it was fun and it was a most magical day. It transformed our Christmas event into an uncommon wonderment, if you will. However, for many, that Christmas of 2020, it was an event that lacked awe and it lacked wonder. I can't tell you how many calls I received before Christmas and even during Christmas of people that were just plain depressed because they couldn't see outside the box of rules. You see, the problem is not with the rules. Even though we look back at that time with great bewilderment, right? Some of us are like, wow, that was weird. But it's not with the rules, it's with us. Many didn't ask the question, how can I do this differently? How can I bring back this sense of awe and wonder and magic? How can I go beyond this box of rules? A number of years ago, there was a former Catholic priest, Father Ken Feet, and he came up with what was called the paper bag mass. He would sit cross-legged on the stage and have his congregation sit around him, and he would do a homily of sanctifying ordinary things. And the ceremony began in silence, and everyone was to be silent. And Father Ken would set before him a brown paper bag filled with peculiar items. And the ritual consisted of taking these things out of the bag one by one and look at these items with great anticipation that was on his face, and he would reach in, and with every little item he would just have this like he saw it for the first time, and he would pull things out like maybe a twig of rosemary, and he'd jolt back in surprise. He'd smell it. He would like touch it. And the congregation, still silent, they would practice silent wonder. And they would mime the words. And Father Ken looked at the rosemary and wonder, oh my gosh, so beautiful. And then he would just glorify it. And with each thing that he brought out of the bag, the congregation had eyes of awe and wonder, and everything was such a marvel to them. You see, the ordinary world is not very ordinary at all, my friends. Its normality is only a sign that our sensitivities have become dulled. Rosemary twigs no longer jump out at us, and they no longer delight us. The twig is just as odd, really. It's just as amazing and mysterious as ever, but we've grown accustomed to it, maybe. We've grown accustomed to things. We've possibly grown accustomed to Christmas and all of its trimmings. The people we live with, maybe we've grown accustomed to them. We've grown accustomed to the car that we drive. We've grown accustomed to the bed that we sleep in. We've grown accustomed to our everyday lives. And many times we never stop to exclaim and wonder. We're not amazed. We're not amused by our everyday lives. We're not even moved to say, wow, look at this life of mine. It's amazing. Wow, look at me go. Hello. This is fantastic, right? We never stop to think how fantastic we really are. Awe and wonder is not commonly thought of as spiritual virtues, but I have found that awe and wonder are the most profound spiritual virtues, perhaps the most important of all. Now let me tell you about these spiritual virtues of awe and wonder, because this can be truly a magical time of year if you let it. In Unity, we say that awe and wonder it's basically looking through the eyes of God, right? When you look through the eyes of God, what do you see? Another God child. You look through the eyes of God, you see another miracle. You look through the eyes of God, and all we see is innocence and beauty and love. And often I find that people ask the question, why can't I get into this holiday spirit? I don't have the same wonder, the same mystery as I did as a child. Have any of you ever felt like that before? Yeah, there's a number of you here. And if you have felt that way, well, you need to get into the spirit. And the reason we don't feel that same mystery, it is because we have not tapped into the mystery of that awe and that wonder inside of each one of us. If it is missing, if this mystery, this magic of Christmas is missing for you, even just a little bit, you need to fill yourself back up. And let's do this by considering the words of Jesus when he said, "Truly I say unto you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself or herself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Now, I tell you the truth, to tell you the truth, when inner child work, when that came around, I think it was popular. When did it come around? In the 80s, I think it was really popular. And my adult mind said, what inner child? That is such a bogus idea. That is the worst idea I've ever heard. I am adult. You know, and that was in my 20s when I thought I knew everything. But in my spiritual evolution, I have found that it's not bogus at all. You see, there is a spirit of innocence within us that is full of awe, it's full of wonder, and it's genuinely kind, and it's genuinely loving. And the truth is, that is who we are. That's the truth of who we are. No matter how adult you might be, you must become childlike to capture the awe and the wonder, the magic of everyday life. The problem is we're fighting an adult mind. So what I'm asking is for each of you here today to let the adult mind go and to practice being in that real place of awe and wonder, to be attentive to the moment. Just to be attentive right here, right now, to the moment, to be in awe of the moment. I mean, look at the lights up here. The lights are pretty fantastic. Are these the best lights you've ever seen? Yes, wow. And so when we really look and we just see with awe and wonder, what is that current feeling behind it? Well, there's also a science behind it. Believe me, there's a science for everything, it seems like. But what researchers have found is that awe and wonder, it really has great benefits. It lowers stress. It releases endorphins, where you just feel this great sense of happiness and well-being. It will turn people into a place of greater kindness and generosity. Researchers have found that people also, what happens if they have better ethical decision capabilities. Oh, wouldn't that be nice if everyone on planet Earth had that, right? Dr. Keltner says in his findings, awe activates the vagal nerves, clusters of neurons in the spinal cord that regulate various bodily functions and slows our heart rate, relieves digestion, and deepens a great sense of well-being. Bottom line, practice awe and wonder. It is good for you. I came across this one writing yesterday, and I do not know who wrote it, but it's apropos for today's lesson. And this is what it says. As children, we had a sense of wonder. Our eyes were wide open and drinking in the fascinating gifts we beheld. Our thirsty souls could not have enough of the wonders of creation. And then somehow we grew too old to dream. We tired of the abundance of the world, or at least grew weary of keeping up with the feast of life and stepped away from the banquet of life. The natural gift of wonder God gave us as children was meant to be kept alive. Instead, we let wonder go to sleep. We entered the typical dream state of most humans. Why else does Jesus tell us today, stay awake? Advent says, wake up and realize the gifts of love that you have received. I love that. My friends, the real test of a spiritual experience is not whether we can find God in the obvious places, but whether we can find God in the simple, in the ordinary, in the places that we've taken for granted. Your spiritual practice for this holiday season, should you take it on, is to see God's creation for the first time, everywhere, with eyes of awe and wonder. Look at things for the first time, even the people you may not like or resonate with. They too are children of God. They are God's creation. Oy vey is all I gotta say. Believe me, that can be a hard one. And it doesn't mean that you have to hang out with them. It just recognizes that they too are made out of God's substance. And yes, the same essence of God that so loves and adores you, yes, that same essence loves and adores them as well. Some years back, a radio station in Missouri had an interesting experience. They had a popular program that played popular folk music, and the program had a very loyal following. People would stay up late into the night just to listen to this program, and it became their friend in a way, especially to those who had difficulty sleeping. And one day, the DJ got an interesting letter. It said, "Dear Sir, I am a farmer living alone on my farm. My wife is deceased and my children and grandchildren have moved away. There are 3 things in my life that give me comfort. One is the farm, another is this radio program, the third is my fiddle. Sometimes in the night when you are playing music and I have known in the past years, I get out my fiddle and I play along with you. It brings me great comfort. But recently, a problem has developed. My fiddle is out of tune. The A string doesn't work like it should, and I don't have a tuning fork, so there is no way I can get my fiddle back in tune. Would you be so kind as to play the note A? If you do this, I will tune my fiddle." So the station did, and he did, and they all lived happily ever after. My friends, sometimes we forget who we are, and we get out of tune. We listen to the news, we think of the darkness, the bad, the evil. We divide ourselves between us and them. We have labels for everything, and within those labels are judgments and condemnations, and we get out of sync with all the amazing things that surround us 24 hours a day. We fall asleep, we get out of tune, and once again, we take things for granted. So, how do we get back into tune? Be the kind of person that looks up at the moon and the stars, the ocean and the clouds with a sense of mystery and awe. Be the kind of person who ponders the flight of an aircraft, the petals of the flowers, and the hair of a dog's coat, and be amazed. You see, nothing is exempt from any of you of being in a place of great awe and wonder. It is a spiritual muscle that only you can keep from atrophying if you exercise it habitually. I wake up pretty early in the morning, and every morning I walk out to my office. My husband built me an office. It's the best office. It's outside. And I walk out to my office when it's still dark. I look up and I see the stars twinkling back at me, and I am in amazement. And I say hello to the vast universe and the possible UFOs that might be zipping by that I haven't the eyes to see yet. And every morning I can hear the owls bid a final good night, and I can hear the birds starting to chirp a welcome into the day. And I am always in awe and wonder as to how beautiful it is. It's my favorite time of day, and there is beauty in everything. Behold the majestic, the redwood forest, the Grand Canyon, the sun setting in the sea, and also the perfectly mundane, the soap bubble, that's reflecting your kitchen, the tarnished underbelly of a well-used pan. And my friends, you don't need drugs to see any of that. You really don't. Just decide to see things differently. Decide to see through the eyes of God. Awe and wonder is about having the presence to pay attention to the commonplace, to encounter the holy in the ordinary. So if you see a Santa Claus that looks kind of dirty and disheveled, look at him with awe and wonder and go, wow, I've never seen a Santa represented like that before. That's a whole new rendition that I never even thought about. Right now, the world needs people willing to see the holy. Are you willing to be that person? Yes, right? Yes. And so with that, can I get an amen? Amen. And so it is. Amen.